Hey HR friends, welcome to the quadrant pattern page where you can use our technology to confirm what's causing your pain. All right, so what we're looking at here is the 2-5 emotional sequence. This is a 6.5 day sequence, and we're in day 5 of that sequence. This white rectangle is showing you day 5. This is a 24-hour sequence. So this is 6.5 24-hour sequences back to back. Now, what happened here in the last couple days? Well, that was the past. So sometimes we need to look back to see why something's hurting. And also we need to look forward to see if we need to be worried here. So we can just do a quick review and see that for this 6.5 day sequence, left upper quadrant's been taking it pretty easy. Right upper quadrant, however, has been all over the place. Started out a little hot at the end of last week and then had some stuff going on through the weekend, and then is kind of simmering back down through Monday and Tuesday, okay? Same thing here with the left lower quadrant. This started out pretty hot. End of last week, into the weekend, slowly came down, and now it's been steadily building here Monday and Tuesday. So, and then you can see that it kind of drops off, but then at the end of the day, tomorrow, or today, I should say, it peaks right back up again. Now, this right lower quadrant, it's been pretty consistent. So if I was still in practice and I was a betting guy, I'd be saying right lower quadrant's what I'm going to be working on in my office this week. I'm going to see some left lower quadrant too, and I bet you I'm going to see a little bit of right upper quadrant. But the reason I'm saying this is this has been pretty steady. And there's been quite a few alignments that have been affecting the low back. And we're actually going to go take a look at that in just a second here, okay? So this was the previous 4 days. We're here in today, or day 5. And now we're going to come down to the zoomed in version, okay? So all this is this is the 24-hour sequence that's inside of this. It's just we've separated it out and we've added a time field here, okay? Now, the reason we put this time field here is because we want you to take a screenshot of this either on your computer or your cell phone, and then you have this handy for yourself so you know what's coming today, okay? Now, how does this work? So up here you can see the numbers are cycling, right? Or you can come down here and you can press around. Now I happen to be in Eastern time. So they start at -11, they work their way down, and then they go to +12. There I go. I found my -4. So this would be the time field for Eastern time right now for the United States. But if you were from somewhere else in the world, you have access to all 24 time zones that are synchronized. And you can see as we change the time zone here, these graphs aren't changing, just the time field so that it's synchronized. That's it. Pretty simple stuff. All right, so let's just take a quick look through the guide because we were just talking about that up in there. So we can really get in here a little bit tighter, and we can see for this 24-hour sequence, left shoulder holds pretty steady, around 2 to 3 influences, and then halfway through the day it pops up to 3 and 4. So halfway into the day, end of the day, people might start to feel it up there just a little bit. Now look it's almost the reverse here on the right. So today when we start here, the right side or the right upper quadrant has got a little bit of action going on. And then halfway through the day, we're going to drop back down and it's going to kind of tail off a little bit. Okay. How about the left hip here? Same thing. I'm just trying to help you guys understand how to read this, but you can literally walk this thing up and down, and you can imagine that people are going to start to feel things in the second 12-hour period today in that left low back. It's almost a guarantee. And you can see that this one jumps up into the red zone. So if you haven't noticed, I'm showing you now, here's the green zone, here's the yellow zone, here's the red zone. And that's on all of these. So it kind of just gives you an idea of what's coming. See how this starts out in the orange and then drops off into the green? This is the opposite. Starts out in the green and pretty much ends up here in the red and then in the yellow as well. Now here's the red quadrant we were talking about, and you can see this one's been staying constant. It's right on the edge of the green yellow, but it's up in that yellow edge. But when you have a constant irritation and it just keeps throbbing or it keeps coming after you, when you have a sequence that's relentless like this, you're going to feel it more. So again, right low back, but you can also see at the end of the day here, left low back too. All right, so we've got one last thing to discuss and we're done here. We got to think about these alignments. Now, what an alignment is an amplified moment, and that amplified moment puts more frequency or test on a quadrant of the body. And the way that we organize this for you is we've created this little cheat over here, okay? And on this side and this side, you can see all the letter combinations. These relate to the hand combinations on the clock. And what we've done is we just match them so we can make this simple for people. And how we read this is we read from top to the bottom, okay? So this blue one right here is the top alignment. Now, I'm not going to deal with any of the little bleeps on here, all right? We're just going to do the longer duration alignments. Those are the ones people feel. So the top alignment here is this blue one. Come over to this graph, and that's how you know. Here's the blue right here, but it's also going to match the letters. Capital M, small e, and if you squint in here, capital M, small e, okay? Now, what's it gonna test during this time? Well, it's a 1.5 hour test, and it's relatively strong. Up here is the strong alignments, down here is the weak alignments, so this is pretty strong, and it's pretty long, and it's putting pressure on the left and right lower back. How do I know that? Well, the L is for left, the R is for right, this L is orange, that's this quadrant, and this R is red, that's this quadrant. So all these L's and R's are coming down here today. L and R coming down here today. How about this one, left and right? Well, that's green, and that's yellow. That's how easy that is. So this is telling you where it's going to affect the body. This is telling you how long it's going to affect the body. All right, so let's go to the next one. We kind of jumped ahead here, okay? So this was the top one. If we keep working our way down, here's the next one. That's the EP. Look at EP. This is purple. So is that line. That's how you know it's the same. This is a 3-hour alignment. We already talked about it, left and right lower extremity. All right, so we go one line down, and now this is a little different. We've got 2 alignments happening in the same line. One's purple, one's blue. Okay, so let's do the purple one first. That's what this is. That's going to affect the lower back on both sides, or the lower quadrants on both sides. And this blue one right here, this is actually going to affect upper quadrants. Okay, that's how easy that is. Now, these time fields, once you have your appropriate time zone information, you can eyeball up and you can see and estimate when these are going to happen. And if you happen to hurt at any of these times, well, record that. Take a note. You're going to want to come back and use our technology to figure out the frequency that's causing you that disruption. And if you can't figure it out, we'll help you. And what happens here is, as we learn what we need to do to change this, we can eliminate all our discomforts. Things are about to get better, people. Hope this was fun. I hope this was easy. We'll see you tomorrow.